Now, the Warriors say they're optimistic he'll be able to return at some point in these playoffs, which obviously mean the finals, which start a week from tonight, but there is no certainty of that. Now, the way it's worked out to this point, no KD, no problem. They've won all 5 games he's missed, and they've actually won the game that he came out of as well, so it's really parts of 6 games. And Steph Curry has been the man. He averaged the most points in a 4-game sweep in playoff history. And because of that sweep, the Warriors now have 9 days off before the finals, tied for the 3rd most in NBA history. The Bucks or the Raptors, whom they will face, will not be nearly so well rested, obviously. So we'll bring the basketball crew. It's wonderful to have Brucey Bowen back here as well. But Jay, I'll start with you, because you were there covering these Western Conference Finals, and I just wonder what sense you were getting as you were around the players of the KD factor in this, because we all understand there's a lot of psychological stuff that goes into it in general, and with him in particular. What sense are you getting of what it means that they're doing all this without him?
So it's the gift and the curse if you're the Golden State Warriors. You're trying to be all of the things that attracted KD to come to you. Steph is playing like an MVP. Draymond Green is playing like a Swiss Army knife. Both of those guys made the most sacrifices to me to welcome KD and to welcome Boogie. Now with both of those guys out, they seem to now be taking pride in the fact, oh, KD may be leaving after this year? We're going to show him that A, he should stay, and or B, if he leaves, we're going to be just fine without him. And we know KD hears that chatter. You know why? All you got to do is look on Instagram.
Correct.
Right? And he definitely pays attention to what people say. And so when Bob Myers goes to the podium, when they're doing a championship parade and allude to KD bandwagon jumping, and then he and Draymond Green had their blow up in the huddle, like all of these things matter to him. So now all of a sudden, he's averaging 35 points, and we're saying he's the best player in the game. But then he gets injured, and we're saying, can they win without him? And then they go on and sweep without him. So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, he's probably still going to bounce at the end of this year.
So let's do this in layers. We'll get to the social media piece of it in a minute, but Bruce, I will turn to you as a 3-time NBA champion and a great defensive player yourself. Are the Warriors better offensively with Kevin Durant not on the floor?
Absolutely. Because they go back to what they were. I know you're going to look like that, Jalen, but if you look at this, during the course of that Houston series, they lost the game at home. Everything was just plunking into KD. KD was being out-physicaled as far as being taken off of spots and things of that nature. But when he's not on the floor, the ball moves from one side of the floor to the other. You got player movement. We see Steph and Klay doing the things that we've seen them do prior to KD arriving. It does go back to what you said, as far as Draymond feeling a sense of, okay, now that he's not here, let's show him what he's going to miss. It's not about you, KD. They can't say that right now because they brought him in under certain circumstances, understanding that they had to deal with him as far as welcoming him. Now, it's playoff time. You talking about leaving? Okay, we're going to show you how we are without you. And we are a very good team without you.
They're a terrific team without him. There's no doubt about it. But they're not better in the half court without him. Will you listen? They're better.
They just swept a team.
I'll tell you what.
And then they went to Houston. They went to Houston and handled them. They didn't do that with him.
We won't talk about your record against Long Beach State, but here's what we'll talk about. What we'll talk about is real simple. They're more efficient in half court with Kevin Durant on the floor. Where they're different is in transition. In transition, they have totally changed. Why? Because of Draymond Green. Draymond Green, to me, is the most important guy for the Golden State Warriors in this moment in time. Because when Draymond Green's on the court, all right, they are so much more effective in transition. He is a mixture between Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. And think about the old Chicago Bulls and their legacy and their championships, right? Scottie Pippen led them in assists, all right? Dennis Rodman led them in what? Rebounding. You know what Draymond Green does? He leads the Warriors in assists, rebounds, and steals. Oh, and by the way, in this series, they scored 3 times more points in transition with him on the floor than Kevin Durant.
So it's just, he don't realize it, but he's validating my point, Jalen. Now, obviously, it's a luxury to have a scoring talent like KD. I'm not saying he's no good.
I love KD.
I'm not saying that. He's an MVP. But with this group, it is so different. They do it by committee without him.
All right. Okay. I think you guys are getting a little too enthusiastic about the Golden State Warriors without KD. I really do.
Now, see how you brought it down a little bit.
And I got to ask both of y'all a question. Would the Warriors win this year's championship without KD?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
You asked the question.
And here's why. You know the 3 games that they were trailing the Portland Trailblazers about 15 points and find a way to come back to win? You got to give the blame to, a lot of that blame to the Blazers. They were willing contributors. Take it from somebody that was actually in the gym, I promise you. The Blazers, think about this. You get a chance to play against the Golden State Warriors without KD and you get swept? Without Boogie? You get swept out of the playoffs for 3 straight years?
I'm not sure without Boogie isn't a positive.
But
this is against Portland.
The thing for me as a champion player, when we went on the road and we won games, it was about sticking to what you do and do it better than the opponents. You're doing something to have an impact against that team. It's just Steph Curry didn't score in the first half, he didn't have a monster half in the first half against Houston, but they still won. It is something about the championship pedigree as far as sticking to the principles and doing big things.
Steve Kerr better get some credit because I'll tell you what that guy's done. He's won with KD, he's won without him. He's gone straight from numbers. He's
but it's not hard to win without, with KD. It's not hard to win with
I got to make sure I stress this.
That many good players and keep them in a point where when a guy's taken away, that guy's an incredible communicator.
Let's keep the same energy. I'm going to make sure I say my point. They will not win the championship this year without KD. They're not better offensively in the half court or transition without KD. You know this. You actually play defense. Those down screens, those single doubles, those dribble handoffs, you know when they get to the finals, they're going to be switching those. And they're going to keep them on the perimeter. KD allows you to go to the elbow, stick your hand up, go one-on-one. Go ISO,
give
me a bucket.
Do you think he will come back?
I think he's going to come back.
Okay.
I need to interject. So, in a segment in which Adam Schefter broke news on my own show, I am now ripping up everything else we planned.